Hello, I'm Frederick Krasey from FKC Health, and today I have with me Hannah Swinnerton. And Hannah is part of an organisation which she runs called Young People with a Purpose, and she's talking today on mental health for youth and some of the challenges that come up in providing that service and expanding that service, and especially in bringing the awareness of the gap between the provisional services that are out there and what's needed. Hannah, can you tell me a little bit about your background and how you came to be doing this?
Okay, thank you. So my name's Hannah, I'm 26, I'm from Hastings on the Mornington Peninsula. Young people, so I was bullied from prep to year 12, was diagnosed with major depression and anxiety. I was picked on because I wasn't skinny, judged because I wasn't smart. I got called names such as fatty, ugly, stupid, useless, hippo, and it just goes on. I was cyberbullied as well. At the end of year 12, I had enough, so I wrote a speech on bullying. I read it out to 600 students at a whole school assembly. I had the teachers that saw me speak at the assembly didn't know how bad it was, and the bullies apologized to me because they didn't realize it was that bad. Since that day, I've gone from victim to survivor to thriver. I've been advocating on mental health and bullying from 2012 till 2020. So it's a very long time. Just trying to get the awareness out there and stuff, and I've been having different interviews and raising the awareness and how important it is to speak about bullying and mental health and stuff, because some of it doesn't get told. Like, a lot of people hide it away. And then coming this year, I started a initiative called Young People with a Purpose, which started by me talking to a friend that I was told him that I was struggling, and his name is Glenn Cooper, and he's from Frankston. And I told him I was struggling, so we started talking and stuff, and he invited me on his talk show because he runs Frankston Community Connect, which is getting community groups together or different people to come on a Tuesday night and share what they're doing and what their business is about and how we can support each other. So I was invited to talk on his show and share my story. And Glenn Cooper challenged me to start something up. And I did. And I started Young People with a Purpose. And the reason why is because a lot of young people struggle, and I felt the need that something had to come because of the coronavirus and stuff. You feel alone in it. You can't be in the same routine that you're in, and you can't go to gym and stuff. So it's all just trying to work out what to do and stuff.
How has this situation with COVID impacted you and the other people that you reach out to? How's that impacted you directly?
So it's impacted me. I'm feeling okay now that I've had that I spoke out. I told someone that I was struggling, and he encouraged me to start something, and it's gone from there. Me opening up and saying that I was struggling started an initiative that's raising awareness for mental health and bullying, and we run meetings every second Thursday night on Zoom.
How many people are involved with your organisation at the moment?
There's 4 on the team, all up, but there's about 20-something people that have been involved in the last couple of Zoom meetings that we've run.
Wow, that's a lot of frames on the screen, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been pretty good.
And what sort of limitations for yourself has COVID done? Like you mentioned to me before about not getting to the gym? What's happening there?
So with with COVID, you can't really go to the gym and stuff. You can't be in that same routine that you're in before. It's just so hard to get the motivation to do anything. Like some mornings I wake up and I just can't be bothered doing stuff, but then you look at it and you get up, you do the stuff that you need to do. You get the motivation. Like if you've got something really important, like meetings or something, you can get up and you can do them.
Mm-hmm. And what sort of support or interest has been attracted to your organisation since you started this? Who else has got on board and supported you, helped you, or talked to you, and who hasn't?
So because I'm supported by, that's the thing about Fishing and Frankston Community Connect, and Glenn Cooper is the chairperson, and I have Jess and Katie as well. They're one does the admin stuff and one helps doing all bits and pieces that we need help with. We've reached out to since I started this, I've had like different interviews with different places like Game Face, a media outlet, A1 TV, which is a TV company out there that does shows that hits internationally. Like the interview that I did today earlier, that will hit Asia and Australia and the UK and stuff. But you don't really get that opportunity to do something like that.
Mm-hmm. And where else have you presented your interviews and information? On what other platforms?
We are approaching the local council because there's the elections coming up. So we're trying to touch base with them to try and get them come on board if they get elected to come, because there's such a need for the mental health at the moment, because there's such a gap in it. And once you hit 25, you've got nowhere to, basically you've got nowhere to go. You've got to research yourself to find someone to speak to, because services stop at 25, and it's just insane, and it's just so hard. And like some of the youth programs that the youth centres run, and that once you hit 25, it's basically see you later, and you can't get that support anymore.
So after 25, what's out there for you?
You basically have to research yourself. Like, as young people, the purpose, we're doing age 13 to 30, but we are not putting an age barrier on it just because it's called Young People with a Purpose. We're opening it up to everyone. We're not having that barrier on it, which is really good, because a lot of older people are contacting us asking to get involved in stuff, and the older people feel too afraid to come and talk to us because they think, Young People with a Purpose is based on youth, but we're inviting anyone that wants to join and to come and listen on the Thursday night.
Well, one of the reasons I was open to this interview is I work with Rick Bowen from Manor Youth Project, and I actually met Rick through a youth mentoring program that I was providing to an organisation in Frankston that were helping people to get back to work, and they were giving them a vocational certification and training for life skills. And I've had a passion for young people, and I've also had my own encounters with dealing with bureaucracy in the mental health system, and I'm very frustrated that people can't find the right counsellors, they can't find the right psychologists and treatment agents. And what the outcome is for a lot of people is the sessions are expensive, or if they are free on the government, they stop after 5, and then the person's sitting in limbo and can't get further access to the mental health thing. How's that worked out for you?
So once I hit 25, I was trying to get support from Headspace and the youth services, and I basically got told that they can't give services because I was over 25. So I had to do my own research to try and find someone. But in saying that, it gets so hard finding someone to speak to. But then you've got to go to the doctors to get to get a mental health care plan, and then you're on a waiting list to try and find a psychologist. And with the coronavirus, it's crucial to try and get help because so many young people are struggling. And the not just that, and the 10 sessions a year is just insane. That's not enough for a young person to get help because anything can happen. Anything can happen to you. And if that's 10 sessions and if that's every fortnight or something, it's so hard for a young person.
I remember when I was doing youth work in Geelong, I was working through a couple of churches and St Vinnie de Paul, Salvation Army and Red Cross down there. And one of the young people there was a street kid and they were struggling. And one night I found this girl sleeping in a dump master and she was covered in scabies. I took her home and I had to get my poor wife, we'd only been married a short time, to help this girl have a bath and wash herself down with pine tassel. And my then wife said, well, why me? Why do I have to do this? I said, she's a girl. I'm not going to give her a bath and scrub her back. You'll have to do that. So I ended up helping her come down off a lot of drugs, getting her to a hospital, through rehabilitation, through a system. And what really impacted me is none of the agencies could deal with this. It required someone like myself that was prepared to put in long hours on this person and walk them through the processes and the agencies that were there. But the care officers, they work a 9 to 5. They have a schedule with a list of people they see, and they don't want to. And I suppose they shouldn't get involved on a personal level. But what was going on for me with these people is the journey was sometimes 2 to 3 years with that person before I saw them able to walk and stand on their own in a new light and walk away from their checkered past. So what you're telling me is there is a system there from a young age to 25, but after that, it's just like falling off the end of a conveyor belt. There's nothing there. Have you since found anything else out there?
I've been lucky because I actually reached out to one of my friends and said that I needed help, and he messaged me and said there's this really cool psychologist, really nice, understands, and I touched base with him, and now I'm seeing him. But as I said before, there's just so many, you can't get the help sometimes. There's just a wait list in life. There's such a delay in it.
Mm-hmm. And this young psychologist, he's meeting your needs now, and you feel like you found your next step or portal for solutions to your own life?
He's so encouraging, and he listens to me, because sometimes counsellors don't. They don't, and they don't understand you, and you've got to have in the heart that you connect with them. A young person has to have that connection with them. If not, it's not going to work.
No, that's one of my premises, that if the connection with me and my clients when I'm doing counselling is not right, I call it a day very quickly. I give their money back and I refer them to someone else. There's no point entering into a mentorship or coaching or counselling unless the connection's there and the value's there, because it's hard for young people to get money at the moment, especially with the way COVID is. So if you're going to invest your time, your money and your energy in a counsellor, they've got to be right for you. They've got to be able to take you somewhere forward in some sort of way, or you're actually cheating yourself of an opportunity to be with one that can do that for you. Is that your sentiment or something like that?
Yeah. So if I wasn't happy with the person I was seeing, talking to, I would just say, I can't do this. I need to find another psychologist that I connect with. Thank you for your service, and move on to the one that understands and listens to you.
Counselling is a funny thing. It's so much having empathy and compassion, getting really present to the person and really listening, and trying to feel the feelings and emotions that that person is feeling, so that you can see or interpret or imagine some of the images that they're entertaining in their mind, that you might be able to couch questions or possibilities to them that might expand their bandwidth of an idea, their choice in idea. I think one of the biggest problems with young people today is they don't realize it, but they sort of have limited choices. And by giving a young person a lot more choice, it actually gives them a lot more self-esteem and belief in themselves, because they don't feel controlled or pushed around. And I think what you shared with me prior to this interview and in private conversation is that you have had a difficult past, but I see from where you've been and where you are now a real optimism. What are some of your hopes for the future?
Once we come out of this lockdown, going back to the gym, getting into the routine I was in, and with the young people with a purpose, is running more Zoom meetings, as well as beach inner circles at Frankston Beach, or one of the beaches around here. But we want to try and do, like, the events that we run, we want to do different venues. We don't want to stick to the same one. So we'll do it like one in Hastings, and maybe one down in Rosebud, and one in Mornington and Frankston, and that, just to mix it up a bit, so it's not the same place. It's not, it doesn't get boring, and people keep people engaged in it, because a lot of people say that that certain things are in certain places and that. And other stuff that we wanted, my other goals and stuff that I would love to do, and young people with a purpose would do, is run youth forums, run bullying events, and approach schools when school goes back properly, and just try and get out there and do more awareness and more videos, and get young people talking, and yeah.
And how long have you been engaging in creating your organisation, Young People with a Purpose? How long has it been?
So it's really, really new. So it's only been about maybe 6 or 8 weeks, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's pretty new, and we want to change the logo and bits and pieces like that, and get promotional stuff like jumpers and t-shirts and stickers and stuff to get the awareness out there, and get young people talking and interacting.
When a young person feels alone, isolated, misunderstood, the anxiety and depression can be high, which can really exacerbate the mental health issues. Since you've created this and garnished together a group of young people, have you any examples or stories of how it has impacted people in a positive way, what you've seen with the youth that you've been involved in, how they feel a sense of perhaps belonging or anything like that?
Yeah, so since I've had this passion for a long time, I've felt really excited about this all, because it's brand new. I've never really been a leader for this, so this is really exciting time. I've always been getting told what to do and stuff. And like, the young people love it, because people have seen what I've gone through, and what they can, if they're struggling, they can reach out. Like a guy last night that came on to the Zoom meeting to last night, within about 15 minutes after he was on there, because he's supporting young people, and he's with, that's the thing about fishing, and he started his own mental health page, and that's just from our group starting and him being passionate. So the stuff that we are doing is making a huge impact on people. And like, there's a young girl that's in Young People with a Purpose, and she's a teenager, and she loves it. She gets so excited about when we have our meetings coming up and stuff, and the whole group jokes around, has fun. We run icebreakers. We make it fun so they can have a laugh, and that we don't just do it all serious and stuff, because a lot of people need the joke around and stuff, because the stuff that we talk about is serious.
Yeah, I can imagine. I'm quite emotional because I put a lot of energy in my life to helping young people and running youth organisations and mentoring and coaching young people. I've had a lot of people I've worked with over a period of time, and to see them getting up like you, like Rick, and like quite a few others, and doing stuff and giving other people, as your title suggested, giving them a purpose. The vision is that I heard a whole lot of crap about millennials and young people. Well, I was young once, and I'm still young now. I'm going on 15. It's all right. But really, I find you're encouraging, and I don't think people realise the extent of bullying and cyberbullying, how it can lead people to suicide, it can lead people to eating disorders, it can lead people to really debilitating illnesses. And a lot of people who haven't suffered these things, they don't have a comprehension of what suffering is. And some of the things you shared with me brought back memories of some of the victimisation I experienced as a young person at school, where people would come into the classroom while the teacher was not there, and just two or three of them would bash me up in the classroom and leave me there and go outside. Now that went on for some time. So I know when you shared some of the graphic things that have happened to you, I think that bringing awareness to people what has to happen, that there has to be a state change, and it has to start with my generation as well, because of all the bigotry and the biases and the prejudices that are passed on to our children. And then the children have racial prejudice, they have prejudice about fat shaming and all those things that come from their parents. So there is a connection between the two generations. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, the younger people are the generation at the moment. So the young people look up to the adults, and yeah.
And in Frankston, there are a lot of mature age people there, walking around with problems, and the young people are looking for hero images and mentors and coaches and things like that. And what I would like to see and encourage, and this is why I entertained this interview, is that perhaps a lot of the older people that are retired, that are my age, I'm headed up to 68, might step out and go for a walk and start talking to young people and seeing how they can help them forward. One of the situations that people don't realise is you might be well-to-do as a parent, and you might have a child who lives with you that you've provided them food, clothing and shelter. They may be doing fine, but people are unaware of what they're going on emotionally inside, and those kids can be really disconnected. And I have 3 beautiful daughters and an adopted one as well. And with my children, they're mature age, between 24 and 40, I try to build bridges of understanding, and I find that the more I sit at their feet and learn, the better it is for both of us, rather than me telling them how it is and all the things I know. So I know in your life, who are your mentors and coaches that you look up to?
My mentors will probably be family and friends. Like mum and my dad and my sister and brother, plus my nan. My nan was 91. She had 15 kids.
Wow.
She played cricket with us all, but she sadly passed away a couple of years ago. So we all looked up to her. She was amazing person. We just wish we could still talk to her and stuff. And then you've got like friends like Glenn Cooper, Katie and Jess, that they haven't been in my life for the whole thing, but the last couple of weeks they've been amazing towards me, and it's just so good to have those friends, because at some of the times I felt like I had no friends, because I've been hurt so many times. But having friends support me is really good, especially when you felt like you had no one.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And other mentors would probably be other friends and different community members that have supported me throughout the journey and stuff, which I'm grateful to have them.
That's cool. So with this organisation that you're building and the hopes you have to change public awareness and draw some support, create activities for the youth, give them hope and purpose, and programs, mentoring programs, coaching programs, whatever it be, because there's obviously a lot of cross-pollination between others with a similar vision. Sometimes they join your organisation, sometimes they interact with you. How do people actually get in touch with you?
So we've got a Facebook page that's called Young People with a Purpose. You can message us through that. And if you don't want to go through there, you can. My inbox is always open for people to join, and that. There's 3 other people as well that people can contact, like Glenn Cooper, Jessica, and Katie, which their inbox is always open. And if you actually go on to Young People with a Purpose page, you can actually see we've got a photo thing on there that's got all the members of the team, so their names, and you can message on that. And we also are running a hashtag social media campaign where people can send in their photos with the hashtag Uniting Together to Fight Mental Health as well.
Mm-hmm. And Jessica and Kate, they've got access through that portal, through the Young People with a Purpose. So if somebody wanted to speak to you,
yeah. So if you have a certain person that you want to speak to for the team, you can just message and say that you want to speak to this person, or as I said before, you can feel free to message them privately through their Facebooks as well as Glenn Cooper as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, I appreciate that you're a startup and that you've been going for 8 weeks, but when you told me how you've been bullied and to what extent it impacted your life, I was quite taken aback and realised that you're a voice that needs to be heard. There's a lot more that will come out in time. So I would like to invite people to seek you out. Your name is Hannah Swinnerton, and they will find you on Facebook with Young People with a Purpose. And through interaction with you and other young people, there's so many creative people out there with so many great ideas. It's the synergistic approach. I know that within my organisation now, I've got a network of people that spread all over the world. I was doing international coaching several years ago, and a lot of those people are seeking me back out on Facebook and LinkedIn because I've been off there for a while. I needed a social media holiday. But since I've come back online, and what's prompted me is these gaps, seeing people really drowning and struggling in this COVID situation. It just moved me, and I said, I can't stay retired anymore. I have to come back and help. So I really salute what you're doing, Hannah, and I think that I can't wait to see where you are in 6, 12, 18 months' time, and you've got our support here on FKC Health. We'll be uploading this in the next couple of days to YouTube, so other people will get to see it, and YouTube's international. So I hope that other organisations reach out to you and connect with you, and that your voice is heard a lot more. And down the track, you'll be doing Facebook Live and all those sort of podcasty things, and talking about specific issues.
Yeah, so with Facebook Live as well, we actually, Glenn and I didn't know how it actually worked.
Mm-hmm.
So we actually tried it. So we had a meet the team night last week where we actually tried it, and it wouldn't work, but we got it going. So now we can do Facebook Live, and we ran a meet the team night last week, and it worked really, really good. We had it go from Zoom to Facebook Live, which is really cool, and people loved it.
Well,
And it got so many reviews and so much support from it as well. We just thought that people need to see the real you when you start something up like this. And
yes,
that's why
they
we
do.
spoke. Yeah, they need to see what you're about, who you are, what you're about, what you're doing, and background information before someone decides to support you.
That's right. And that's why you and I have had a couple of little sessions prior to this interview, so that it wasn't just, oh, I'd like to speak out how I feel. And I said, well, let me find out who you are and what you're about. And honestly, you touch my heart with your story. And I think more of that will come out in time. And perhaps the next interview, we can give some people some case studies of what's happened, because it's so fresh. But once you have some of those stories you've shared with me before and we can present those, I think you'll find a bigger uptake and more awareness. And then you're lobbying to government departments to reduce this gap and make these offers and provide these services that don't exist will be far more successful and impactful. So yeah, that's great, Hannah. I really want to thank you for your time. And
Thank you for having me.
oh, pleasure. I realized when we first connected, we thought it was a different process, but then I realized that people needed to hear you now and hear that you're an advocate for anti-bullying and mental health. And certainly you've had your fair share of those hard times, but I'm looking forward to seeing where you are in 6, 12, 18 months from now. And I hope that we can still be connected in some way to support that journey and believe in you. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
No, it's an absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you. If anyone out there has these issues that they feel that they want to not just contribute, but maybe need the service and support of Hannah, please reach out to Young People with a Purpose.